Thank you. Sorry about the crackle there. So, good morning and welcome to class time this morning. We're in for a bit of a treat. We have friends, more than friends, brothers and sisters from India with us today. What we're going to do this morning is Johnson has prepared a video. I think it's all queued up. We'll show that here in a minute. We'll have about a 23-minute video in our class time this morning. Then we'll have time for him to expound upon other things that he might want to do, and have time for Q&A. So as you look through the video, I'll come back to that in just a second, be thinking of questions you might want to ask him, because the video covers a lot of ground real quickly. But for those of you that have been here a long time, this is not a new work for you. Those that are maybe a little bit newer, let me give you just a real brief thumbnail sketch of the work here. The work started in about 74-5, if I remember right. Our involvement started in December of 1980. There's a group of 14 of us from the University Church here. Our then pulpit minister, Don Browning, was the leader of that group. And we went to India, and we're there. We were gone for about a month. I think we were actually in country for maybe 3 weeks, at least 2 weeks. And for a young guy, I was young then, not being home for Christmas the very first time and being in India was a bit of a culture shock, I must admit. I was sharing this story with Debbie last night. We walked into the dining room area at the time, and we'd kind of gathered up. We'd been out in the village, I suppose, came in for dinner that evening. Unbeknownst to all of us, Don had packed a little miniature Christmas tree. And there on the, there on the table was a little miniature Christmas tree. And Don had gone to the trouble to have our family members write us letters. That was pretty moving. It still is, obviously. And so, as you can see, India made a tremendous impact on my life. Over the years, unfortunately, I don't have a list. I need to try to work on one of all the folks from this congregation that have gone to India. But just in rough count, there have been, over the years, at least 30 folks who have either gone one time or made multiple trips. And I bet if you ask every one of those folks the impact of India on their life, they would say it made a tremendous impact. So what began, as you'll see in the video, what began really as a village ministry. Samuel was an educated man, but was still a village person. He could just blend in, go back and forth into the village, just be totally comfortable and be comfortable in front of educated folks as well. Just a tremendous man. When I say Samuel, that was Johnson's father. And Johnson will speak to that a little bit later as well. But we started the work in a little village called Sharukavada. And my memory of that village was we went into Sharukavada one evening, and it was probably dark. We were getting ready to preach that evening, and there was just a little brush arbor just kind of out there in the country. And as you'll see through the video, that work has grown. On that particular campus, there is a very nice permanent church building now, a preacher's home, a medical facility, foster care program is held there. A new retirement home has just recently been completed, a water treatment plant. It's just amazing what has happened, and I give God all the glory for that. So as you look at this video and the next video, there's several things I want you to look for and be aware of, because it does go pretty quick. Look for White School. Look for the Senior Citizens Home. Look for the mission they have. He will state that clearly. Their church planting, the growth they have planned for the work. The Women in Need program, Hope and Stitches, the Browning College, the health clinic, the water treatment plant, the preacher training that they're doing is just phenomenal. So just kind of queuing up the video for you with those, just be alert to that. And we'll show the video, it's about 23 minutes, then Johnson will have the floor for other comments and Q&A.
Our ministry primary task is to take gospel of Jesus Christ to the lost. We believe in a holistic gospel, a gospel that will transform people's lives into all spheres. We also believe that the local church is foundation to God's plan for his help. The local church is the way God intends to accomplish his mission in the world. So our first effort is always to plant churches and to train preachers. We also believe the church has the call to serve the society. The church is called to be salt and light. If the church is not sensitive to the needs of the people and its community, we are losing our focus. The church life is meant to be lived out among non-believers. We will want to continue with this two-way approach, planting churches and serving the communities through welfare programs. It has to go hand in hand. The Great Commission is love God and love your neighbor. In non-Christian community is dominated in several parts of country, and the right balance in India is church is not contributing to the nation building. The government thinks that we are less patriotic. This has to change. We need to rise up people who will bring God's kingdom, justice and rule over the nation. We will find that balance that will transform whole communities. Through educating children through vocational training, Browning Junior College, White's English Medium School, foster training in the villages, all this will contribute to the society building and the contribution to the nation at large. Thank you. We believe the single most effective evangelistic methodology on the earth is planting new churches. We have seen the fruit of it after several years of church planting in Bhimavaram, Vizag, East Godavari, Chintapalli, Vijayanagaram, Araku areas. Now we believe it's time to go beyond our areas. We have identified some areas such as Anantapur, Prakasham districts of Andhra Pradesh. North India is threshold of other religions and one of the least reached region in India. Christianity has always been relegated to the least margins of the society, and in spite of several missionary efforts, the church has remained weak and ineffective. We believe the Lord is calling us to make efforts to plant churches in other states like Chhattisgarh and Orissa. Church planting work is our earnest and heartfelt desire to joyfully exalt the God and move forward by advancing His kingdom by faithful preaching and teaching the Word of God and making disciples, as it is recorded in Matthew 28:18-20. The evangelism and church plantation work is primary work started by Church of Christ Ministries, Bhimavaram, by Brother Don Browning and Brother Samuel. The end goal of making disciples through training the young people in the churches to become self-sufficient in long range. We want to concentrate on preacher training programs. These preachers in turn will be our lead church planters and pioneers. In church plantation, we always experience good results by preachers training program and sending them into their own community. Training local individuals has greatly helped in Chintapalli area. Here the church growth is most effective and also in planting churches. We have easily gone to new areas through the preacher training students. The area is almost totally ineffective training centers, so we want primarily to expand training programs in the areas where is most ineffective. The making of young preachers. This name has been changing year by year to get attention by the government. Now we call it as an Institute for Social Transformation. The ministry that I believe and we all believe in the power and the preciousness and the necessity of preachers in the life of the church. Training preacher, initially we prepare, it will be difficult obstacles. This in turn turned out to be in which God has fired and made the preachers. Training preachers takes up a great commission to go with the gospel in the unreached areas. By His grace, with faithfulness, many of our old students planted churches, especially to the unreached families in their own community. Through vocational training, preachers, students, and who get training with some kind of a technical skills like computer course, medical lab technicians, and mobile phone technology, along with the biblical education. Vocational skill development and biblical training fits to the ministry students by earning his own money that will be sufficient and gives him a destiny, dignity, and respect in the front of congregation and the society. Self-sufficient preachers in the mission is a less burden of the organization to fund him. Jonathan is a graduate trained preacher, has a computer skill in editing, so he earns money from his editing services and preaching, and also he is main pillar to raise funds to construction of the church in Wundi. Same way, Nova, a lecturer in English in a government college and a preacher who has taken up the task after his father. His grandfather Nova is the initiation of the starting of the church. Now third generation Nova, not only a lecturer and a teacher and a preacher. So he earns his own money in running the church. Samuel is taking care of the church in Sanjeev Nagar, who preaches at 2 congregations, and he is also a lecturer. So he earns his own money, where we support very less amount for his livelihood. To train young men and women to be rooted and grounded in the Word of God and able to understand and interpret the God's Word. The prepared students' skills will help minister like elders, Sunday school teachers, and youth ministers, and also pillars in the church, and also a Bible teacher. So far, since 1996 till post-pandemic of COVID, we trained almost in 2 places 320 students. These centers need to be started again in Bhimavaram. We closed Bible College in Bhimavaram in 2016 due to lack of funds. If we can able to start this institute again either in Bhimavaram or in Cherkuvada, we can add these students in a vocational college in Browning Junior College, where they will transform to be self-sufficient people and also leaders in the congregation. India Harvest. India Harvest started in 2013 and continued up to 2018. The reason for the India Harvest is to primarily help the preachers in medical emergencies and their families. And also during the natural calamities like flood, fire accidents, and also during COVID-19, through India Harvest, we have several families in the churches. Due to COVID, we lost nearly 15 preachers in the last 2 waves. By the grace of God, during COVID, we could able to supply rice, vegetables, oil, and all the cooking needed groceries were given to poor families in the congregation. Along with this, we also gave first aid medical kits for the families in the congregations, including vitamins. We could able to cater nearly 60 congregations in the state of Andhra Pradesh. India Harvest also helps in providing matching grant for the church constructions as a donations. In last 5 years, we have constructed 9 church buildings. Campbell, 3 church building. Praveen area, 1 church building. Vijayanagaram, 1 church building. In West Godavari, 4 church buildings. India Harvest always stands to meet the needs of congregation members and preachers at the time of emergencies. Thank you. Foster care centers. Foster care centers are an alternative program to India's Child Children's Home. India's Child is a house, a residential program to provide food, shelter, education, and Christian discipline. Government has brought several restrictions on children's homes that we're not to teach religion, and they're doing several inspections. Visits which taking a lot of time for the preparation of the paperwork. So the paperwork and dealing with the government is taking a lot of time than serving the children at the home. From 2016, about 90 children's homes were closed due to these restrictions just in one district of Andhra Pradesh, West Godavari. We, the missions in India, felt the need not to stop the care and education for the children in villages. God opened a new door to serve the children through foster care program. In foster care, we have 4 areas of Andhra Pradesh. Mostly the foster care program were monitored by preachers' wives who has minimum high school education. Every day, children come to the foster care after school hours and get the tuition. Homework will be done at these centers. The caretakers will guide them in their studies for 1 hour. After that, they will have a devotional and learn Christian songs, Bible reading, and prayer. And also, they receive snacks as a nutritional food. The good thing about the foster care children is they will go home after the studies. So we don't need to provide shelter homes for them to stay over the night. Above all, we make these children as leaders in the congregation and the future missionaries and elders and church leaders through the foster care program. Thank you. Women in Need ministry started by Brother Samuel and Josie's visit to Snyder, Texas. During that time, Josie Samuel initiated with Sister Billy McCormick in 2003. Josie Samuel told her vision to serve the widow to the ladies in East Side Church of Christ, and the women in the church came forward generously to sponsor the program. These women often abandoned by their own children. These abandoned women receive monthly help from the church. They say we are always touched by the gift you are giving. The expression of gratitude we always see whenever we give them money. Many women say this help has been great moral support by the mission work in India. We were cared by the India missions. Esther visits every month to distribute the money. They not only receive monthly support $475, they also receive the medical care at the Charlene Browning Health Center. One of the women, Kottapalli Bayamma, says, I am ill-treated by my son and he has beaten me and sent me out of the house. Preacher Purushottam gave me shelter in the church and medical care, and added to that, I am receiving monthly support. I see this as a great support for me. The Women in Need program is going on at 5 churches. Total 130 women are getting monthly support. Thank you. Charlene Browning Health Center. The gospel should bring holistic transformation in people. Just reaching soul is not enough. The light of the gospel should penetrate into their whole being and bring change in every area. Medical Health Center shows that we are concerned about their physical life too. It shows them that we have compassion. They walk in with hopelessness and walk out with hope. It works well with the government also. It shows that we are contributing to the enrichment of people's health. We will get favor them, support from them, and this is needed for the medical missions to go forward. Doctor says, I see patients every day and I'm happy that I can give them treatment and medicines, but I cannot do surgical procedures at this center. I have gained 6 years of experience in treating all kinds of fevers, malarias, flus, and cleaning wounds and minor surgeries. And I can able to give medicines for diabetes, blood pressures, and other stuff. Nurse says she is willing to do whatever needed to the patients. I get to do procedures, minor surgeries, wound cleaning, giving shots. I got to do everything in the absence of doctor. Purushottam says, every day at the hospital, people come to know about Jesus. Gospel is part of the medical mission. I love God and I love sharing word of God and help the medical center by procuring materials, medicines, etc. I love the opportunity whenever I was at the clinic and share God about His love and sharing the hope of Christ with them. Charlene Health Center is also a training center for Browning Junior College, nursing, lab technician, health worker, students. Everyday children and adults experience the medical care at Charlene Browning Center. We have an average of outpatients per day is 50 to 60 patients. Doctor visits 4 times a week. We see the joy in the people's face, and also we thank God He is involved in this medical ministry and keep it going. Charlene Browning Health Center refers patients to super specialty hospitals, Irma Heart Care, Imperial Hospital, and where they receive maximum discount on surgeries. The reason for this discount, the hospitals know about our presence in the society through education and the services we render to the society. And second thing is 50% of nurses, technicians, health workers are the graduates of Browning Junior College. During the pandemic, we have distributed thousands of first aid medical kits in first wave and second wave, and also we provided oxygen concentrators. Our vision is to make it to hospital with multidisciplinary group of doctors. Please pray that Jordan Samuel to take up this task. Church of Christ School started in 1982 to reach the local poor community. Later, as per the changes in the community, it was changed into White's English Medium School. The principal mission of White's English Medium School is to offer quality English medium education to poor and lower middle class. India is a developing country, but the development is limited to above middle and high class society. The lower class is denied opportunities in corporate private schools due to high tuition fee. Students at White English Medium School will achieve academic excellence as well as spiritual guidance and proper training to use their gifts and abilities in society. We inspire students to attempt their parents and neighbors with Christian love, tell how they were supported by church in India and the church in abroad. So far, we never faced opposition from parents by teaching moral lessons from Bible. On special occasions and in the school functions, we always mention about our missionaries to students and parents and about our social work and the generosity of the churches from abroad. We show love by collecting minimum tuition fee from the middle class parents. Staff and Esther keeps good relation with parents. Whenever mothers come to visit children, they never let an opportunity to pass by without showing Christian love. We believe boldly that God will do amazing things through school. Proverbs 22:6. Present we have providing education to lower kindergarten to 7th grade. During pandemic, the admissions were almost zero. The present and we have a sufficient staff to run the White's English Medium School. Browning Junior College. Browning Junior College aspired to educational excellence, enabling each student to recognize his, her own potential and to develop academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. Browning Junior College is providing value-based quality education to the students belong to all sections of society with a particular emphasis on students hailing from economically weaker and culturally disadvantaged sections of the society. The principal mission of Browning is raising a generation of positive change makers by providing quality education to develop strong Christian character education. The one foremost agent of social change is education. Our staff show love and concern and counsel those who are driving them crazy. Most of our graduates are doing jobs in various fields like medical field, educational field as teachers, a revenue department as officers, and police departments. All these students supporting financially to their own siblings, and they are the only source of income to the parents. The students has a great opportunity for them to get good Christian exposure. Spending 2 years at Browning has an impact of Christian values in their life and lifestyle, what they have observed in the campus. The junior college upgraded to the give technical skills where the graduate will get better salaries in the corporate hospitals and a good positions in the community. Thank you. Hope in Stitches. Initially, Subhadra is one of the tailoring teacher in the Bible college. She trained 14 Bible school women in 1996. Beulah is one of them. Beulah is from Orissa state. After she been in the school, she went back and married. Within no time, her husband did not accepted the Christianity. So they were in lot of trouble and he has harassed her like anything. One day, Beulah's husband came late, poured kerosene on her and burned her, and she gone through 70% of the burns. After her recovery, suddenly one day she showed up at the Church of Christ compound, and we are all shocked to see her in total burns on face, on hands. We kept her in the church compound for 1 year, and then we have sent her to New Horizons Safe House as a house mother. There she helped the girls to learn the tailoring and she took care of the home at New Horizons home. Recently she went back and she started a sewing center where Brother Mark Tidwell gave her a sewing machine. The point what I'm trying to make here is the investment, the money you invest on one woman that makes her life sustain for 1 month easily. That's how they get on. I have not understand the realities when I understood only when I traveled to these areas and watching them how they are making their lives better. So we are so glad and thankful to God that through the ministry we have given Kumar area more than 12 machines, Praveen area more than 10 sewing machines, and separately Jyoti in Praveen area 6 sewing machines, and in Cherkuwada 6 sewing machines, and Bhimavaram area more than 20 machines. How little we contribute, just single machine costs $70, but making this machine as a gift, all these women feels as a God's providence. Beulah not only stitches, she became a teacher and she taught the women who came to learn the sewing machines. The tailoring centers are centers for the women Bible schools. Same way we had a tailoring centers at Cherkuwada, Campbell and other areas. Because of these sewing centers as a Bible schools, Sister Diane Reed named this as a Hope in Stitches. Now we see the lot of joy in the faces of these women. The life-changing thing in these women are they are turning into teachers, businesswomen, leaders in the community. Thanks for the Open Stitches. Mark McCormick Water Plants. In coastal, tribal and rural areas of state of Andhra Pradesh, there is no alternative to contaminated canal ponds water. In memory of Mark McCormick, we propose to set up reverse osmosis water purification plants through Brother Don Browning to India Advisory Team in 2010. India Advisory Team encouraged Indian missions and we are able to install 8 mineral water plants serving families with a clean water which keeps them from contaminated diseases. In coastal and hilly agency areas, the people frequently affected with jaundice, diarrhea and waterborne diseases. Most of our water plants were built in church compounds. As a result, we are getting good response and goodwill from the village leaders and able to get connected with community. The preachers take the responsibility in maintaining plants, also brings awareness to people and the importance of pure drinking water. We have slowed down in establishing plants and hope to do more in coming days. The plants at Campbell, Cherkuwada, Akkuvidu and Vizag and Anakapalli are the most successful plants that serving the community. Thank you. Diane and Jeff Reed Senior Citizens Home. Senior Citizen Home is finished and it is ready to start the Old Age Care Center to take care of the people in the congregations. The University Church of Christ elders provided $18,000 for the building and $3,000 for the compound wall construction. We raised in India for the material and other things about $12,000. Total cost of the building is $33,000. The building occupation capacity is 30 people with a multi-purpose hall and a separate kitchen. The beds and mattresses and all the infrastructure was donated by Jeff for providing kitchen utensils. We are hoping to start this home in August 2023. Thank you, University Church of Christ elders and Brother Jeff. Thank you. Our ministry primary task is to take gospel of Jesus Christ to the lost. We believe in a holistic gospel, a gospel that will transform people's lives into all spheres. We also believe that the local church is foundation to God's plan for his help. There
wasn't it? I know that's a lot to take in. I just wanted you guys to see a brief overview of the work you've been involved in for all these years. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Johnson for other comments and questions.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be with you all because University Church and the mission work in India has a long time family relation in the mission work in India. I'm thankful to all of you for such a faithfulness and generosity in continuing the ministry that you have seen. So it's a quick video with a lot of information. I know you might have missed some of the parts. You may not understood some of the parts. If you have any questionnaire, Q&A that I would like to answer. Some things you might have missed in it was started by my father Samuel and my mother Joshi, and me and my wife were the second generation missionaries in this work. So when they started in Cherkuvada, it's only one congregation in 1976. Today we have 310 congregations established in last 35 to 40 years of time. That's a great blessing. And if you ask how it has happened, I don't have an answer for that. It's God's hand and His Spirit that led the ministry in such a successful way. And the second reason for that is training young men to preach, to go back into their own communities. So training program really helped us to expand the church ministry. And through the school and the children's home are the backbones for the ministry, because we brought the children from villages, and being in the compound, church compound, and in the school and in India's Child, made them as leaders in the community now. Now we go back and see all the kids who came, very young age. Now they are leading not only church, they are leading the society. They were as the leaders in the community. They are businessmen. They are in turn helping churches to grow. The money you have invested all these years, I can gladly say that today, in the beginning, all the preachers and churches depended on the money that comes from churches in US. Today, nearly 110 to 140 churches, they are supporting their own preachers. They are not looking into the sponsorships because of the growth in the church, because of the education, and they learn all these years that how the church in US supported, and this is the time for them to support their own local congregations. And India Harvest is always helping preachers in the medical emergencies and also natural calamities. And since you've seen all that video, if you have women in need, it's such a wonderful program that university is part of it. And mostly all the staff members in Browning and in school remembers University Church of Christ. I think you know the reason, because of the Christmas bonuses that comes from you. You may be University Church of Christ here, but it is Bonus Churches of Christ in India. So that's a connection that God has given between all of us. So we have a wonderful Hope in Stitches program, and we're eagerly waiting to start the senior citizen home, which is ready to get going. So it's time for you, please. Yeah. Adding to this ministry, my wife Esther, we have started a new program with the help of New Horizons, based in Denver, Colorado. It's shelter home for sexually trafficked young girls, ages from 12 to 18. And we really doesn't have any experience, any knowledge how to run the program, how to cater to these girls who were rescued. This is the sixth year we are entering into. For 8 months, we didn't have a single girl that rescued by the government, because such an influence, this business, what I call business, the pimps controls the government not to rescue girls who are in these brothel homes. And after 8 months, first girl came. Today, in 5 years of time, now we have 65 girls rescued below 18 years. And that shelter home, we have a shelter home and a transition home. 12 to 18 girls lives in shelter home. Once they finish 18 years, they come to transitional home. There we send them to junior college for vocational training. And so for 8 girls gone through this program, went outside. 2 of them went back again into the same sex trade, but remain girls started sewing centers, one vegetable vendor shop. What else? Aloo food. And 5 of them got married, and it's a wonderful program, but a lot of challenges with government. And we need a lot of prayers for her in running that program.
And 2 girls, they finished the junior college and they're doing paramedical courses in undergraduation, one in physiotherapy and the other one in cardiac.
Yeah, 2 girls went through paramedical courses, 1 girl in physiotherapy, and now she joined in a big hospital, and other girl in cardio care. Yeah. So, yeah. For this transition home, previously we used to operate India's Child Children's Program, which belongs to Church of Christ Ministries. So for the transitional program, we wanted to start in Bhimavaram because they have to go to junior college. The India's Child building now been utilizing for the transitional home 24 girls who are going to college. So that is also part of your contribution to run the transition home. Yes, sir.
I understand that the Prime Minister of India is very anti-Christian. What effect does that have on the work there?
Sir, as you said, it is true. This is his second term ruling India, and we expect him to rule another 5 years. So, year by year, this, they're trying to push down the growth of the Christianity. One thing, when you all aware of our Prime Minister, he's an anti-Christian person because he wants all Hindu votes for him to get voted as the Prime Minister of India. So the much he criticizes Christianity, the much he gains politically. But one thing, when even Bob Shepherd asked last time, and whenever the missionaries asked, one thing I can boldly and confidently I can say is the church growth, no one can ever stop anywhere on the globe, and especially in India, because the God's hand behind it. You know, in 25 years back, we were fully dependent on the mission support. Today, why I'm boldly saying it is, no one can stop. Now, churches becoming self-supporting, as long as Indian money used for Indian missions, no Prime Minister can stop the church work in India. So I think you need to pray that most of our churches needed to be self-supported, stand on their own, support their preachers, and support the work. Even I showed the new areas, 2 new areas we want to go, and the money that going to new areas, we are so cautious that we shouldn't give American dollar so that they can accuse us as a forceful mission conversion. So our churches, even the church in Bhimavaram where the mission started, every month they give 28,000 rupees, which is almost $350 to $400 to these 2 states to support preachers. And just in Bhimavaram area, 4 other congregations, not only supporting their preachers, they're raising money to support other preachers in tribal areas. So, as you asked, brother, even this generation, next, in India, church will grow. Wherever the persecution, oppression there, the church has always grown. So I think confidently, church will grow in India.
I have time for one more question. Before the kids start flooding. Any other questions? Okay. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.